Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday week 1 middle stage 1's math lesson. Now what we're going to do today is we are going to learn how to add two-digit numbers together. So when I say add, we're going to use our addition and we're going to join these numbers together to make a bigger number. We're going to join them together. Now what we are doing today is learning how to add two-digit numbers using place value. So that's our learning intention. But how do I achieve that? So at the end of the lesson, I want you to look back at the success criteria and say, have I achieved this? Have I achieved these goals? I can successfully add two-digit numbers using place value. Partition numbers into tens and ones and record on a number line. So at the end, that's something that we're going to see if we have achieved. Now I've written this as an example on the board. In your activity, you can choose any random two-digit numbers, or you could turn over 4 cards and make them into two two-digit numbers. It's up to you how you do it. What I've done is I've just chosen two random two-digit numbers. Remember, two-digit is because there is two numbers in it. Now, I would like you to look at this. 68 and 58. What number is bigger? Now, if you don't have a hundreds chart with you, I would be looking at the number in my tens column. In a two-digit number, the number that is in the tens column can often help us find which is the larger number. Is 6 bigger than 5? Yes, it is. So that means 68 is bigger than 58. Now, that means, moving on from our last lesson, we partition our smallest number. Now, this is what we like to call two-step math. That means once we finish the first step, that's not our answer finished. That means we need to move on to the second step. Now, when I am partitioning a two-digit number, I need to partition my tens in step 1 and my ones in step 2. So in step 1, I am going to partition 5. But since it's in the tens column, it's not actually 5, it is 50. But something that will help us is by thinking that let's partition 5. What two numbers can I add together to make 5? Let's try 3 and 2. Now 3 and 2 make 5, but I need to look at my first number. 60. 60. What is 6's friend of 10? 6's friend of 10 is 4. That means that 60's friend of 10 is going to be 40. So 6 friend of 10 is 4, but since we're in the tens column, it isn't 4, it is 40. So if I put 4 here, I haven't made that into a tens number. I need to remember that in a tens column, I need to add a 0. 40. What do I need to add to 40 to make 50? Well, if I split my number into 4 and 1, I need to put a 1 here. But I mustn't forget to add the 0 because it's in the tens column. So 40 and 10. 40 plus 10 equals 50. Okay, so just a side note, we're not worrying about the 8 at the moment. We're not worrying about that. Our first step is finished. Partition into tens and ones. Well, we've done the first step. We've partitioned into tens. But I need to show that on a number line. This is going to help me later on. I'm going to write my number line here. Okay, our biggest number is 68. And our first jump is by 60's friend of 100. 60's friend of 100 is 40. So I'm going to put plus 40 there. Now, I don't know what 68 plus 40 is, so let's count. We're going to count by tens off the decade. 68, 78, 88, 98, 108. So I know that this mark here is going to be 108. But, once again, I've done my first number. I can put a tick next to that. But I still need to add 10. So I am going to go from 108 and plus 10. What does 108 plus 10? 108, 118. Let's see if that's right. 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118. So I am right. You can also check that on a hundreds chart as well. So that's step 1. Put a big tick next to that. Step 1 is finished. Now step 2, I partition my tens number and I've added that. And I have added that to my largest number. But I still need to partition my ones. So if I just move down here, 68 plus 58. I've already partitioned the 50. Now I need to partition the 8. So I'm going to look at the ones column now. Okay, I need to find 8's friend of 10. Now I remember that if I'm going to reach 10, starting from 8, I go from 8, 9, 10. So my first number that I partition is a 2. How much more do I need to get to 8? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to add on 6 more. That is my second number. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Now, I move back up to my number line. And if you would like to, you could draw it again. If you would like to, you can move down here. And you could start from the answer you were just at. So from your answer, you finished on 118. So let's start 118 here. I'm going to 118 plus 2. I'm going to jump by 2. What is 118 plus 2? 119, 120. So I make 120. That's my number 2 sorted. But I still need to add my final number, number 6. 120 plus 6. So let's go, 120, biggest number in my head. 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126. So there is my final answer. Okay, that's my final answer. I've partitioned my tens, I've partitioned my ones, and I've added them on. Now, if you would like to, you can add this or continue on with your first number line. So you do your 2 plus 2 equals 120 plus 6 equals 126. So then you can finish off, okay, and there is step 2 complete. Okay, so you first of all need to partition the tens number. Partitioning the tens number means looking at the other 10. You're making friends of 100 here. Think about it like this, guys. Friends of 100 are the same as friends of 10. Instead of 4 and 1, it's 40 and 1 and 10, sorry. Same as if it is, if that number was 70, it would be 30 instead of 3. 7 and 3, 70, 30. 6 and 4, 60 and 40. You're looking for your 10s first of all, then you are looking for your 1s. Now it is two-step maths because I need to add my 10s first, then I need to add my 1s. Make sure you always remember to add the 1s. It's not finished after the first step. Okay. Now, as you go on with your activity, I would really love to see you showing me each step. Show me that you've partitioned the 10s first and then added them on. Show me that you've looked for friends of 100. Show me that you've looked for friends of 100. Show me that after you've added the 10s, you now add the 1s. But before you add the 1s, you look for friends of 10. Just how we did with our 8s. We know that 8's friend of 10 is 2. And to make 8 from 2, we need to add 6. Practice that, guys. Partition the 10s first, partition the 1s. Look for friends of 100, look for friends of 10. Use a number line to represent your answer. Show me the 2 steps that you have taken. Take a photo, send it to me, guys. Excellent work so far. Keep it up.